Have you ever heard about the new Real ID rule starting this May 2025? If you plan to travel by airplane inside the United States, whether you're an immigrant, visitor, or even a US citizen, this update could affect your travel. Starting this May, will begin full enforcement of Real ID at all US airports. If your ID is not Real ID, you could face delays and of course extra screening or even be turned away to a checkpoint. So in this video, I will explain what this change means, how it affects immigrants and non-immigrants traveling to United States, and what exactly you need to do now to be ready. The Transportation Security Administration, the TSA, just announced that starting May 7, 2025, only certain IDs will be acceptable at the security checkpoints. This is part of Real ID Act, a federal law originally passed in 2005, but now it's finally being enforced at all airports levels. If your ID is not compliant, TSA officers will not let you through unless you have another acceptable form of ID, like a passport. This applies to everyone 18 and older, including those with TSA pre-check. And if you're undocumented but voluntarily self-deporting, you will not be denied boarding just because of this rule. But it's still important to prepare properly. You might be wondering, is this for me? And the answer is yes. If you plan to fly within the United States, even just from New York to Florida, this rule applies to you as well. Whether you're a green card holder, student on a visa, business traveler, or even a US citizen, you need to make sure your ID is accepted by TSA starting May 7. You don't want to arrive at the airport and find out you can't board. By the way, if you're new here, my name is Abanoob. I'm a foreign attorney with a master's degree in US law, and I am currently the founder of VIP US Immigration. I help immigrants and travelers like you stay informed, feel confident, and move forward without fear. You can learn more about me and what I do in the description below. Also, I know my English might not be perfect, it's not my first language, but I choose to speak in English because I want to reach as many people as possible who need this type of help or this type of information. So if you're okay with that, thank you for being here and for your understanding. Now, what is a Real ID? A Real ID is a state-issued driver license or ID card that meets federal security standards. It looks like the regular license, but it has a star on it on the top right corner of the ID. If you don't see a star on your license, it's not probably a Real ID complaint. Next, who needs a Real ID? Anyone 18 years or older who wants to fly domestically, that means inside the United States. This applies to US citizens and non-citizens. Yes, even if you were using TSA pre-check points, you will need a Real ID or an acceptable alternative. What if I don't have one? If you show up at the airport without Real ID or another acceptable document, you could face delays, extra screening, or even not being allowed to pass the security at all. What are the alternatives to a Real ID? If you don't have a Real ID yet, you can still travel with one of the following alternatives: US passport or passport card, foreign government issued passport, US permanent resident card, the green card, or US Department of Defense ID. And of course, you will find the full list in the video description for your reference, along with the news link. Now, if you're not sure whether your license is allowed, you can call or visit your local DMV. Many people assume they already have a Real ID, but it turns out they don't. Don't wait until the last minute. The deadline is May 7, 2025, and all airports will not give you any grace period. You must check your documents, update your ID if needed, or carry an acceptable alternative like a passport. Trust me, it's better to double check now than you miss your flight later. And if you're here to this point, the following is way more important to know. I am not a licensed US attorney in the United States at the time of recording this video. Therefore, I don't provide legal advice on individual cases or offer personal legal consultation. However, I can answer general questions based on publicly available information as well as my own knowledge and studies of the US law. Also, nothing in this video or any of my other videos should be considered legal advice or substitute for professional legal consultation, because my content is created purely for general legal awareness, particularly in the US immigration law, and it all based my own personal experience and my academic studies. If this video helped you feel more prepared, please consider subscribing for more to come. I share simple step-by-step videos videos to help you navigate the immigration and the travel process in the United States safely and with confidence. Whether you're planning a trip, adjusting your status, or figuring out what to say at the airport, I've got you covered. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Safe travels, everyone.